intriguing slate coming up to break down. So we'll get into it, and we will begin, as we always do, with the weeknight games. We have one game only Thursday night, and we go to the Sun Belt for this matchup. South Alabama and Appalachian State. We've got the App State Mountaineers, 7.5-point home favorites in this game, 64.5 being the total here in this one. App State with a escape of a win against East Carolina over the weekend, but they did not cover in that game. 21-19 was the final score. East Carolina got the money. If you got them early, they got the money, which I did. It was one of those games where, better game from Joey Aguilar for sure at quarterback for App State. Still had trouble running the football, though, against East Carolina. The defense was better, especially against the run. They really clamped down pretty well. Only 98 rushing yards after Clemson did anything they wanted against App State's defense. We'll see how they fare here. South Alabama, look, 87 points last week, albeit against FCS, Northwestern State, and not a particularly good FCS team. They were laying 37 in that one, 87-10. They actually didn't even finish that game, kind of like a mercy rule type of deal. Didn't even finish that game because the score was so lopsided. Before that, though, against Ohio and North Texas, the two FBS teams that South Alabama played, they gave up 27 in a loss straight up in ATS against against Ohio. Another straight up ATS loss as favorites against North Texas, 52-38 in their opener. Not been very pretty defensively. I think this team misses Kane Womack, the old head coach, who's a very good defensive mind. Just a hunch, because this has not been the same South Alabama defense. Throw out the Northwestern State. I couldn't care less that they only gave up 10 points there against the teams that were somewhat capable and competent. They couldn't stop anything. So I think South Alabama is going to probably be in tough here. I'm still not sold on the App State defense, so I get why the total is 64.5 and why they're betting it up, because it opened 62.5 in this game. I already got in on this over at 63. 63 is what I got. It's gone up even since then. I agree. I think the offenses are the better side of the football for both of these teams. I'm still not sold on the App State defense. And I will say this, he's getting more and more comfortable with every game, is Gio Lopez. I really think there's a good future for Gio Lopez, the South Alabama quarterback. He keeps getting better every week. So I like points in this game. I think it'll be high scoring. Side-wise, I don't know if I want to take either side. I'm not laying 7.5 with App State. This has been an overvalued commodity here early in the season. And the one thing I will not do is when I see a team that's 0-3 against the spread, the betting markets have clearly overvalued App State. I'm not going to make an excuse to back them and bet on them until I see them cover a point spread. And that is something that App State has not done yet. So I guess I would lean dog by default, but I do like the over more in this one on Thursday night in a little Sun Belt, Fun Belt action. C-Mac, what do you think here? South Alabama, App State.
Yeah, and kind of depending on where you got the number with whether you won or lost with App State. One thing right off the hop here with App State. Let's get to the side. Laying more than the touchdown. I know they're at home. I can't do it. Not with this defense. Both these defenses are awful, especially against the pass. Going through, they're both rankings, I think, are like 116 and 117. They're basically giving up 270 a game just to start this year. They haven't been very good. Out South Alabama. That was a great win. And that game flew over. It was like over at not even at halftime, in that one. And even that game against North Texas, the first one, where they lost 52-38. How can you not like this over? I mean, that's just right what I went to. And especially if you got in early. I think even at 64, it's fine. I don't know how we don't get a bunch of points until I kind of see any defense from these teams. Last week, ECU, if you had them jump out, Bavano, and then to just have a horrible second half, we're going to get to a few of those teams. A few teams got me this last week with just horrible second halves. And we see it a ton, like even the NFL, just from half to half, these teams just totally different. Of course, there's adjustments and everything like that. But sometimes I'm like, is this the same football team that I just saw, 30 minutes ago, right before halftime? And yeah, they came back. It was good. They put up a ton of yards, 424, still turnovers. They're still just sloppy with the ball a little bit. So I could just see kind of one of those maybe fumble score, multiple scores, maybe special team scores. So I agree with you here. Over. And no way. I kind of lean South Alabama if I had to take a side.
Another thing, too, South Alabama's playing faster on offense. Not blazing fast tempo, but they're definitely getting to the line of scrimmage.
Picked it up a little bit
last year. No question. And they're a much worse defensive team. So you factor that in. That's why we've seen, I think, 2 of the 3 games go over the total so far. The only one that didn't was Ohio, but Ohio plays slow. Their offense lost a bunch from last year. But everything else, it's been high scoring affairs with South Alabama. All right.